Good Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon, everybody. I usually say the morning. Cassidy Woods asked me to do that this afternoon because you'll never hear it again. We start the day off every day like that at Clinton High School. And Cassidy, I'd have to say, great speech, you and Catherine. Cassidy was worrying me a little bit beforehand. She came up to me and said, I can't do this. I feel like pitch perfect, and I feel like I'm going to projectile vomit on the first row. But we could not tell, Cassidy. Great job. We appreciate it. Wow. How about these 98? We got a few that are not walking today because they chose not to walk but graduating. But we got 98 young men and women up here on this stage. And I said it the other day at the academic banquet. It may be, in my 30 years, the most accomplished group of graduates that I have seen. On this stage, there are 3 Governor Scholars, up to over $1.5 million worth of scholarships. The first ever Clinton Decathlon winner. 2 state, 7-time state champion FFA students. Can you imagine that? Yeah, we clap for all that. Numerous all-state athletes and members of the winningest girls team in basketball, in Clinton basketball history. I could go on, but the list is too long to mention today. But I can say, I am proud to be your principal, and we are proud you will be Clinton graduates. Yeah, you clap for that also. One member I want to point out on the senior up here Clinton basketball team is Katie McJunkins. Katie started her year off with a severe knee injury, and she fought hard to get back, and she got back on the team, but never could get back to old Katie McJunkins. And I can tell you this, Katie, I remember Episcopal 2 years ago in the state tournament when you hit the big shot to put us over the top of the Senate in the semis. But this year, to me, was your best year because of the way you handled yourself as a teammate with the class, the dignity, and support. Today, to me, that was your best year. Thank you, Katie, and I'm proud to be your principal. I've spent over the past 4 years with these students, some more than others, unfortunately. But I'm not going to miss out on the last opportunity to share with them. About a year ago, I read a book by Kyle Adelman it was called One at a Time. And Kyle is a preacher. And he was talking about a time that he went and he preached in a state prison. And as he was preaching, he noticed a man in the back, much different than him. Big guy, burly, tattoos up both arms, up the neck. And after he got done with his sermon, he came up to him. And he had a Bible in his hand, and he had a picture in that Bible. And he talked about how once he got to prison, he became saved and was a Christian. And he was in prison because in a drunken rage one night, he murdered someone. So he's going to be in prison for a long time. He took the picture out, he gave it to Kyle, and he said, Kyle, look at this picture and tell me what you see. Kyle looked at the picture and he could see that it was taken at his house, from his house, and he could see across the street. And the man was there in a cut-off shirt, big arms, tattoos. He had a grease rag in one hand. He's holding up a beer in the other hand. And he said, I did not know what he wanted to see. He said the guy kept getting real emotional. And he said, finally I saw it. I handed him the picture back, and he said, you lived across the street from the church. The man said, yes, I did. I lived there 7 years, and every Sunday morning, people walked to that church in their suits and their dresses and their Bibles in hand. They saw me in the driveway working on my motorcycle, and not one time in 7 years did they cross the street. Not one time did they talk to me in 7 years. And as his eyes teared up, maybe if I'd found Jesus then, maybe I would not be where I am. And he asked Kyle, why didn't they cross the street? Kyle said he thought for a minute, and he thought it was a rhetorical question, and he looked, and the guy was getting real emotional and started crying. And he said, why didn't they cross the street? And Kyle looked at him and said, because you were different. And the prisoner said, that's not okay. If we have not taught you anything at Clinton High School, I hope that we have taught you to cross the street. And I hope that we have taught you that it's okay to be different, and we probably need to get rid of the word different. And if we have not done that, then we have failed you, and I have failed you as a principal. And I hope that we have. Sitting right here in the second row is one of my favorite students ever, Jimmy Arnold. Yeah, let's give Jimmy Arnold. Last week at the athletic banquet, Jimmy received the Special Olympics Athlete of the Year award. And this is him pictured back here receiving the award. Yesterday, Jimmy won another state. Didn't you, Jimmy? You won a state like yesterday in the 100-yard dash? Did you win the state yesterday in the 100? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. All right. So, Jimmy, this was at our athletic banquet, our regular athletic banquet. I can say that our booster club crossed the street for Jimmy and the rest of the Special Olympics. And I can say that most of you that are here today, almost every one of you were at the athletic banquet, and every one of you crossed the street when you gave Jimmy a standing ovation. It makes me proud that I'm the principal at Clinton High School when we see things like that. And I will say about Jimmy is Jimmy crosses the street himself to us and to me. Because all the time I'll say, "What's up, Jimmy?" And Jimmy will reply, "He's not paying attention to me." What do you say to me, Jimmy, when I say, "What's up, Jimmy?" "Hello, Mr. Tim," every day. And that makes my day every day. Let's go back a little bit longer. And let's go back to prom. And we have a young lady who went to the prom for the first time. Her name is Chloe Miley. Special needs girl, beautiful, sweet young lady. And we had prom. She went to her first prom. And I will say, if you'll look at that picture behind me, Russell Hensley crossed the street. He had a date, but he crossed the street and made her day and danced with Chloe at the prom. Russell Henley, you crossed the street. Russell followed the example of the greatest teacher ever, the teacher that was not ever elected office, that was not a member of a political party, and that was Jesus. 40 times in the gospel, 40 times it starts, Jesus saw. And after that 40 times, the greatest individual transformations in the stories ever told happened 40 times. And most of those times were when he crossed the street and accepted people society would not accept. And I'm talking about prostitutes, lepers, a woman that bled for 12 days. I could go on and on with the list, but we don't have enough time today. But Jesus crossed the street and made a difference. Yes, in the class of 2023, I do believe that I've crossed the street. I hope I did. I pray that I did. And I think that our district did. But to make sure, let me cross the street again today. We have students on this stage up here with us today. Students who have passed and graduated just by the skin of their teeth. We have special needs students. On this stage are students with tattoos, face piercings, nose piercings, green hair, red hair, scars from cutting. On this stage are students that have dealt with struggles with drugs and are still dealing with drug struggles. And on this stage today, there is a mom on this stage with two beautiful children who are here today watching her graduate. I could go on and on, but the list is too long to mention today. But I can say I am proud to be your principal, and we are proud you will be Clinton graduates.